Live already?
Well, you don't do that now, but before that's how it used to be. Like after COVID happened, they all of the insurance carriers allowed you to basically do even Zoom meetings. And now, I mean, that now it's so much easier. But whenever I did it, that's how I used to get. Like, yeah, I used to call.
And I bet you like people would just like who rolls the door.
You know what? No, because I never went to a house without appointments.
Oh, okay.
I went to all of the houses that I went, I had appointments. So, but it was not worth it. Like to me, I used to drive a lot like crazy. So I was like,
All right, guys,
But some
we
people consider
are
something about being
live. You want to go ahead and put your headphones on? Yeah, thank you, Nate.
A mí no me manda.
Because I hear that about this.
All right, guys, so we are live back here again at another episode of HBR, the best real estate podcast here in Houston. For all your information regarding real estate and business, anything that you would like to know, help you become a better realtor, and also experiences from other business owners here local to the Houston area. I'm Giovanni, your gracious host here with the podcast. I'm going to go ahead and introduce some people. We do have a special guest today who has never been on the podcast before. I'm going to let her introduce herself first, and then we'll go with Flor. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Ruby.
Hi, my name is Ruby Quinones, and thank you for having me.
What do you do, and where can they find you?
I do a little bit of everything. I work with my social media. I do, make a lot of my income from there. I'm also an investor and invest in cars and resell them, properties in distress. And I am also a financial advisor.
Awesome.
Flor Velasquez with Lionsgate Realty. You can find me on my social media as Flor Velasquez Realtor.
And I'm Nathan Valderas. I'm the master broker for Lionsgate Realty. You can find me at Better Call Nate in all my social media outlets.
Okay, so we're gonna jump right into it. Ruby, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your business in general, what you do, and then we'll kind of go forward from there. That way we get to know you a little bit better before we jump into the main topics of the podcast about how we can figure out what clients actually want to hear from us. So kind of just tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, do a little bit of deeper dive from there.
Well, I like to call myself a financial coach, financial, I guess, advisor. We deal with just helping our clients, educating them, bringing them to our workshops where we teach them how to utilize different tools, different vehicles. And depending, every client is different because everybody has different goals. So uh, that's what I do, and that's what you guys can come and find me. I'm in most all of my social media under Ruby Quinones. I am also an investor in real estate.
Whenever you say financial advisor, do you have a field in which you specialize in, or just in general?
Just in general. Mhm.
Okay. Whenever, as an investor, you're investing in businesses or real estate, developing from the ground up, what side of the investment?
Well, like I mentioned earlier before, I invest in whatever's gonna make me money.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, kind of, what did you guys talk about a little bit on the Spanish podcast? You wanna break that
I
down a
mean,
little bit?
just who was she, before what she does now, basically. She told us a little bit about her story. Do you mind sharing that a little bit of,
Yeah, it's because we just I don't know if we are live, so we just did the Spanish podcast and
No, you're good. There are two different channels.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do we- I don't
She said, I
want
don't
to
wanna-
bore people.
She said, I
with
don't want to
my-
repeat myself. No, this is a different audience.
Yeah.
This audience is more geared towards
Yeah.
Giovanni.
This one's a lot more. Let me not say that. This is
Go ahead
the
and say it.
business
Say
professional.
it.
Go ahead and say it, man.
Say it.
Say it.
I'm
No.
getting my
He was
butter
the
ready.
he was the say American.
No.
Oh.
No.
No, he was gonna say more professional.
Professional.
That's what I
That's
was
what
gonna
she
say,
said.
but you know what?
Yeah, whatever. Get out of
Nate's
here.
mom actually got on to me about the way that I speak on here, so I'm trying to be a little bit more.
Dude.
Oh, thank
cautious
you.
So
about
I
what
was
I
gonna be
need
like,
to
okay,
thank
I gotta
my
go.
my mother, who has never seen my podcast, asked for the channel last Wednesday and saw the podcast. And so then I saw my mother yesterday. I took her to the movies, and she is like, she says, hey, I don't know how to translate it into English, but she said, oye, Giovanni es como, se hizo como un poquito sangroncito, ¿no? And I'm like, no, why? he goes, "Es que habla bien americano." And I said, "Well, I mean, he's American. I mean, I don't
Nate
know."
texted me that, and I was like, "Well, I am American. I don't know how you expect me to speak, but out of respect for Sylvia, you know, I love you. Out of respect for Sylvia, I choose my words a little bit more kindly, at least for this podcast."
Because it's professional.
Oh my
Well, that's
God.
why,
That's
like,
wild,
I try
bro.
not to.
That
No,
is
because we're
wild.
using a comparison to the Spanish podcast, but just in general, of course, right? I like to carry myself a little bit more professional in general. But where were we going? It kind of threw me off.
You want to?
We were talking about your
Yeah,
story,
yeah,
right?
She's
your
gonna
story.
talk about.
Well,
Tell
I
us your
guess we
story.
can say I'm also like I just love to motivate women. You know, I am a woman, and I've been through a lot. I've been through, like, I know I think what I love about what I do is it's that it has taught me so many things. Like, you know, in our culture, in the Latino culture, we're not really financially educated. We're not. And I didn't learn anything about savings, investments. That's something that was so new to me when I first started. And then once I started learning, I'm like, I have to tell everybody about this. Like, how do
Mhm.
people not want to be educated and know more? Because knowledge is power.
I get that what you're saying, right? You know that the Hispanic community is not educated in finances or
Well,
in money.
most. Mhm.
No, a lot. I mean, even people who have an abundance of money,
They don't know
they don't know
what
what
to
they're
do
doing.
with their
Yeah,
I mean,
money.
they don't know
they-
what to do with their money, and even further, even further than that, they do things like pay off their cars and and invest in things that are not going to bring them back their returns, right?
Yeah.
And so the thing is that I feel like I like that you guys are educating the Hispanic community and showing them about these vehicles of, or what do you call them?
Yeah, different vehicles.
Financial vehicles that they can use to help them get to
Get out of debt,
debt and
pay their mortgage faster.
and yeah. But let me ask you this, because I know that some people that are in your profession, I don't know if you do or if anybody in your organization does, but a lot of people promote wealth. Okay,
Mhm.
they say, hey, these are wealth programs. You could be wealthy like everybody else, stuff like that. And the thing about it is that what a lot of people, what I don't like personally about that is that it is very tough for you to get wealthy.
Mhm.
It takes a generation or two, mostly two generations of families working together to get to wealth.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's the thing, is that there's a difference between being wealthy and a difference between rich.
Mhm.
Okay. And I don't like that some of these insurance organizations that are talking about this, they promote wealth. You're not going to find people that have the drive and the ability to get wealth in some of the areas that you're marketing. Okay. And let's just say you do, right? That's
Mhm.
great. 1 in a million, right? And you help that one, and you're the person that helped them. That's cool. But I think that really, if they're really not you, I'm not picking on you. If they are really trying to promote education and financial education in the lower income areas, they should start with smaller workshops of, hey, learn how to use a credit card, learn how to, leverage your debt, learn how to leverage your income, learn how to, learn the difference between a depreciating asset and an asset, learn the difference. All these things should be promoted and taught first before you start putting these
Have you been
these
to a
investment
workshop?
vehicles. No, I have not.
Okay.
And
I'm like, I can
let me
tell.
rephrase that. I've actually, I have. I left.
But that's the one that you
I've been waiting for you
The
to
one that
stay.
you
I
went
left.
to.
Stay and learn.
I went there and I literally
one that you went to-
judged it.
I'm
I
sorry
judged
to-
it and I took off.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead, Mama.
But the one that you went to is for like new people, right? So of course we cannot
Mhm.
just give everything to somebody, or like someone
course,
that's
yeah.
their first time,
Mhm.
if you're coming, it's your first time visiting us, we cannot give you so much information, because then your brain is going to blow up.
Mhm.
Like, there's so much to learn, and as we the more that we learn, the more that we can educate people. Of
Mhm.
course, you will have to come to more workshops, not just one for maybe 30 minutes, because then you're not gonna hear.
You're not gonna get the whole
Of course
scoop
not.
of it.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not just and I'm not just picking on those insurance workshops.
Mhm.
I'm also picking on these investment workshops. I hate it whenever I feel bad, for people that I had a friend that had a workshop and had a whole investment group and all this stuff, right? And he actually he actually called a lawsuit, right, for that.
Mhm.
And so the thing is that I remember I used to feel bad for people that be like, oh yeah, I spent the last $100 to get this program and I'm gonna get wealthy, and it's like
But
no,
they do that in real estate
they
too, if
never
you
got.
think
That's
about
what I'm
it.
talking
Yes,
about.
Like I feel like that's
Yeah,
everywhere.
that's what I'm talking about.
So that's why
Listen.
you have to be
Mhm.
financially educated. You have to, and not just with the workshops. I'm talking about reading. I'm talking about doing your research,
Mhm.
because knowledge is power. You're not going to be able. No one's going to be able to take advantage of you if you know these things. If you know, like, I mean, you have to get educated first. You have
Yeah,
to like
definitely.
learn, go not just to workshops, but also like different events or different trainings where get talk to someone that that has a good reputation, like
That
Maria.
that that so that's key. Key is the reputation. Is
Hmm.
like, who is this person talking, and where is he getting this information from? Because nobody
Correct.
has made up anything. So whoever's selling or doing these workshops got it from somewhere.
Hmm.
Who? Who's the partners? Who's the
Yeah,
who's the
that's
right?
important. That's
And
very
I think
important.
to play devil's advocate here, right? You kind of do have to pitch it even as learn how to build wealth, because nobody really wants to learn how to save your first $100, right?
It's because that's the
You got to get people
key.
into the
yes.
door
I mean, think
first,
about
and
it.
then teach them what they need to
I
learn.
mean,
So
There's no like
yeah,
secret formula, first of
I
all.
mean,
that's
yeah,
true.
yeah,
That's
There's
true.
exactly.
not.
Yeah,
That's true.
Giovanni's right in there, because that's what I was telling her earlier. I mean, if you tell somebody that, oh, I'm going to teach you about life insurance, who's really going to show up? Nobody.
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
you tell them that, hey, I'm going to teach you how to, like manage your money, how
Better,
to
yes.
get, maybe to the end goal that you're trying to get, I mean, you're going to go. And it's the same way, like what we do basically whenever we're hosting an open house. You're throwing in there what's going to be catchy, what's going to be,
Mhm.
getting someone's attentions to go to your
Mhm.
open house. So it's basically, what all of these
and
And it,
workshops
how
do.
Flor says, right? It's just exactly in real estate. Nobody wants to hear about their starter home, their $150,000 starter home. Yes, those still exist. Everybody wants to go ahead and jump straight into their $1 million house, their dream
Yes.
home.
yeah.
Nobody wants to learn about their starter home, but you can probably get them into the door and be like, "Hey, you don't qualify for your dream home yet,
Mhm.
but we can work your way up there."
Yes.
Now, to what
That doesn't
Nate's
correlate.
point, to Nate's point, to Nate's point, right?
Go ahead.
The person has to be teaching the right thing.
Yes.
Somebody could be the best
that's
marketer
true.
and not teaching the right thing, and then somebody
Mhm.
could be teaching the right thing and be a terrible marketer, and their message doesn't get
And
across.
So that's my partial. That's my partial point that I was trying to
I
get.
promise we're gonna let you talk.
No, that's my partial point. But the other point, my main point was, it's just like when people come into this business, right? And you're telling somebody, hey, you're gonna make, $100,000 a year, right? I mean, that's maybe 20% of the people that you bring into this business is
Okay,
gonna do
But
it.
don't you
Hold
want to
on.
be part of that
Not
20%?
everybody is set for that.
Okay, hold on. But probably 99% of the agents that get their license
Mhm.
have that idea that the 1st
Mhm.
year they're going to do, a six figure.
Yes.
If everyone achieves that, no, probably, like you said, not even the 20% achieves
I,
that.
it all depends. I mean, the I think what I love is that you are teaching people how to manage their money, right? Because we live in a society right now that people just want to get in debt just to look cool. But it's like, are you thinking about your future? Are you really saving? Are you just trying to do that to impress people, or are you really because to me it's like you really have uh to know. And the more that I have been learning, the more that I'm like, wow, like even my lashes, I stopped doing a lot of things, my nails, because you learn a lot. And I want to, I guess that's why I'm passionate. I get what you're saying. There's a lot of people, just like realtors, just like like agents,
Mhm.
there's people that are going to be just like in church. There's people that are going to be good, and there's people that are going to be bad. That's just how it is.
That is a perfect example.
Yes,
That is
yes.
true.
I like that.
Some of the preachers be doing the dirtiest dirt.
Like
Not
who?
just
Like who?
because
Like
someone
who?
tells you like,
Like
oh
who?
yeah, it all depends on people's integrity. And
I get it.
I think that's what I love. I love my team. I love the people that I'm surrounded with. We believe in God, and I feel like that's the main thing. I wouldn't want to take advantage of nobody because I want to be able to sleep good at night.
So we talked a little bit about how you worked your way into it, right? But now let's talk about what was your main reason to teach it? Like, did you start off by like one family member you wanted to talk to them or a friend, or did you see the need for the general public to learn this and you're like, this is kind of like my passion, what I want to do?
It started more like me wanting to learn more, right? What learning about finances, and then once I was introduced to it, I was like, yeah, no, I this is so awesome. Like, you also get paid by helping other people, educating other people. So I want to help you and get paid to help you. So that's something that made me want to just dive it more into it.
Now,
Because there is bad people. I mean,
Now-
just like in anything,
Oh, yeah,
in any
of course,
business.
so let me ask you a question. If they said, hey, will you help this group of people how to, teach them how to become wealthy and but I'm not going to pay you anything.
I'm
would
not
you,
gonna
would you
lie
still
to
invest
people.
to do it?
I mean,
Would you still invest in your time and do it for free?
yeah,
You would?
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, even when in personal training, I that's where I quit. Personal training, because I would hear people's story like, oh, it's because my husband, I don't know, he cheated on me, and I'll be like, girl, I'm gonna train you for free. So I was like, no, Naki, no vas acá. Oh, I'm sorry. Se me sale lo mexicana.
Oh no, it's okay.
That's fine.
Don't listen to them. I'm not I'm not
But
that strict.
yeah, that was me. Like I wasn't. I think 60% of the girls, I was like, I'll train you for free, and it wasn't worth it. Like you have to also look at your time as valuable. Like my time is valuable, so I would do it. I mean, yeah, but as a person, you also have to know that your time is valuable.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of times, even though that
like-
person does come in with genuine feelings of wanting to learn, but if it doesn't cost them something, they won't appreciate it. So even if you don't want to charge for what you're doing, sometimes you have to.
That's
So
true.
at least the person that you're trying to help takes it seriously, and they will better themselves because they're like, oh, I got skin in the game.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I mean, when I started, the only thing that I had to pay was for my background check. I mean, I didn't really pay nothing. This is something, of course, for your license. But did you have to pay for your realtor license?
Yes.
Yes.
Everything costs money. It's like I don't think. I mean, you have to really just think about it. I mean, when you open up your own business, it's gonna cost you. It costs us money to make money.
So you said something at the beginning, right, about how you are really focused on the Latin community to help them learn more financial responsibility, also how to build a credit and stuff like that, right? I don't know if you said that exactly, but it's what I heard.
Yes, exactly
Um,
what I said.
Do you think that it's a Latin community issue, or do you think it's just an American issue?
I think it's I think it's mainly
Minority
a
issue.
minority issue.
Really?
We and then we don't learn we don't learn none of this in school. We don't learn how to save money. We don't learn, I mean, if we're honest, we don't. So that's why to me it's also important to be able to learn and then teach my kids how to, be financially educated.
Okay, cool. Because it is something that I'm starting to see a little bit more. Is I just think the American public in general hasn't been taught from like the very beginning. Only people who really have any financial like understanding is people who have parents who were entrepreneurs. Because even
Yes.
people who have
Yes.
parents who have
Yeah.
really good jobs, but even if they have really
They-
good jobs, if the parents don't know how to handle their money, they're living check to check. I mean, you
Yes.
can make 200,000 and live check to check.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
especially nowadays. It's not that hard to do that,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, I heard the story of I think it was a doctor, and he was married. He had just got out of school. He had like $300,000 in student loan debt, and he had $200,000 in car debt. And they were like, what are you doing? Like all your check, even though you're making it, like it's going away. You went to school, like, you're gonna be in debt forever. Because of course, the student loans you can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
Your cars, yeah, okay, take a hit to repo, but your student loan debt you can't. And so I think like just the American public in general.
Well, I read
Doesn't have
something
understanding
the
of
other
money.
day that said we live in the wealthiest country in the world, yet there's so many people that are struggling.
Mhm.
Why?
Hmm.
Because
I'm not. Do you want to go down that
because,
route?
because we lack
He said, Giovanni said, I got time
I
today.
got time
we
today.
lack financial education.
Yes.
I agree
Well,
with
what
your
Trump
statement.
said was that.
I agree with your statement that we lack financial understanding right here in the United States. Everybody, Americans as a whole, um, but there is a lot of people who have learned and know how to maneuver in the United States. What I think is really tough, or the real education that the Latin community should be getting, is how to identify different types of debt and how to
Mm-hmm.
leverage them. Okay, because it's not in their best interest to really save money in the United States.
Right. It's
They're
But
never going to be able to.
before we go forward, just so everybody knows, it's not financial advice.
It's not a financial advice.
I mean,
I'm not an accountant, but
why? Because a lot of people they would rather just invest their money in liabilities than assets.
that's what I'm saying. That if they understood the difference between bad debt and okay debt, it would be so different for them, because you see that's the way this country runs. Because you said something right now. You said that the United States is the
One of the wealthiest.
one of the wealthiest, right? And a lot of people really underestimate Mexico, because there's a lot of wealthy people in Mexico as well. But the difference between a wealthy person in Mexico, or you're not even wealthy. Let's just stick with rich people. A rich person in Mexico next to a rich person in the United States is by far more. They have by far more money than an American.
Yes,
But
I agree.
but the reason is because here in the United States, people work with debt. There's companies that will literally run for years on debt and be a successful company. It's considered a successful company, and so it's just a lot of people come here and don't understand that, and they just waste their time paying off and doing things, and paying for things that are bringing them no future investment or asset or anything.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I also think that a lot of the people here in the States, that have like, millions of dollars in credit card debt is because they want to be living
Yeah.
that lavish life that, I mean, they really aren't supposed to. I've gone to like so many different stores, like, like whenever my family comes like from Mexico to here, like if they buy something, let's say, at the luxury store, I mean, they're paying for that cash.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
putting that into a credit card, which probably like 90% of Americans do.
That's true.
Well, that's the whole point of America, right? Like you have all the freedom to be whatever you want, and then also to screw up your life as much as you want.
Yeah. Because a
And
lot of
there's
people
no
live.
other countries that allow that.
Mhm.
That's why United States is the best
It's
country in
because
the world.
the government does want us to be. It's better for us to be in debt. Like they want us to be in
True.
debt.
That's true.
They want us to be part of.
But what's funny is when I started doing more and more business in Mexico, and I started traveling over there a lot, I remember that I would get there and I would go to the ATM and I would pull out money so I could have for the day, and I would put like probably like $500 American dollars, and turn into pesos, right? And I remember I would always go home. I mean, I'd be there for
With
like a
nothing.
week. No, I'd go home with like $200, of pesos, and I'm like, why didn't I waste this money? I'm literally like tipping, giving away everything. It never runs out, never runs out. And so then I remember I came to an aha moment or a realization that I had a Walgreens problem. And what that means is that every morning when I would leave my house, I'll get out of my neighborhood, I'd see Walgreens, I'd stop and I pull over, and right away, I buy me a drink. And then, the drink is like, oh, buy
Walgreens
two
problem.
and it's $6, or buy two and it's $4. I will buy a drink. I will buy, some gum. Maybe I needed something for my headache. Maybe I need. Then, they had the little seasonal aisle and stuff like that. And my kids were little. I would buy them stuff from there. Oh man, this is cute. Oh, this is nice. And I started looking at how much I would spend. Weekly or monthly or whatever. I was dropping like $300 or $400 at Walgreens, and it was like, so if you think about it,
So you're saying that
No.
people in the States have a consumption problem?
I'm saying
We
that
do.
we have
We
every
do.
corner, we have a place where we could drop money. Just like you just said right now.
You have
could
a
live,
supplier in
you-
every corner. That's
you-
the beauty
you
of
could
America.
You could live check to check, making $200,000 a year.
But whose fault is that?
It's the
It's
United States.
It's not the United States. It is the consumer's fault. America provides you to live the best lifestyle you can live as much as you can spend.
The best.
Now,
the
do
best
you
life?
decide? Yes. Do you decide to spend that money on stuff you shouldn't spend it? That's up to you. That's just the way the American system is. Now, are you taught? No. That's understandable. But I mean, Come on, common
Man,
sense.
you should bring me to your
In
class.
Mexico,
I
how
think
you
he
said in
has-
Mexico,
yeah,
you
you
gotta.
You should bring
gotta check
me
it
and
out.
Giovanni
Okay.
to you should bring me and Giovanni to your class, and we're gonna teach. Don't waste your money at Walgreens.
Y'all
Step
heard
number
it
one,
from
step
them.
number
Don't- Don't be lying, because
Said
y'all
don't
already
don't
said
drop
it.
your
Y'all
truck.
coming.
Don't buy a truck and don't drop it.
No, wait, hold on.
Don't
That's
buy
a
Rams.
necessity.
But it's just honestly, that's
Felix
how
in a 6'4" and a 4'6".
me. Once I started learning about it, I'm like, man, I'm spending about like $800 on nails, lashes, my hair extensions. I did it myself, you know. So, and that's something that I'm also introducing on TikTok. You know how to like just it's because it's little things that add up.
Mm.
They
Ruby's,
add up.
Ruby
DIY.
has me out here doing the math on lashes and nails.
Girl, and the other day, my mom went to Starbucks, and I was like, and I think now I'm annoying. I'm like one of those where I'm like, do you know how do you drink this every day? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, pull up my phone, the calculator. I'm like, do you know how much you're spending a month on just Starbucks?
Yeah,
When you
right.
can just buy it at home. Make so that's like the beauty of it.
You know what? I agree with you now. You
But
know
you're
you
paying
should.
for the experience. You
I-
walk in.
Dude, now
Oi, oi, oi,
like, she
oi, oi.
really
Hey, Frank,
has to
another cold
think-
brew today.
I make
Yes,
my
ma'am.
coffee every
Yes.
morning, and I have this cool little coffee maker. It's just like, I get the
Well,
experience.
my
there.
favorite barista is
I
not
like
at my house serving me
no,
coffee.
I agree with you now. Now that I've heard your spill, I agree with you that you know the Hispanic community or the Latin community in
Yeah.
Houston needs education on finances and where to put their money because you know unfortunately now whenever you know an Hispanic person or a Latin person becomes successful, you know what's the first thing you'll see on him to mark his success?
branding.
He'll buy a CanAm. Never fails. Every time.
So I mean, some of them buy them and rent them.
True, true.
I mean, it depends on how you want to make your money.
Right?
Or one of my friends spent $20,000 on one, and it came with the trailer, so it was a pretty good deal. And he used it like 3 times because I mean
And then
yeah,
you drive.
we don't have land, and like most people in Baytown don't necessarily have land, right? You have a regular maybe half an acre at the most an acre lot, and even then you're not going to be driving around your side by side in your acre lot, right? You're going to be damaging your yard.
Mhm.
So he would go to Highway 90 every now and again. I mean, of course, he's working in refineries, 712s. He never has time to go use it, so he paid $20,000 to have something sitting at his house,
Yeah.
and he got rid of it for like 15 later, right? So he lost money on it.
So
So
let
he
me-
never really used it.
So let me ask you this. We don't have mountains. We don't have hills over here. We don't have any of that stuff. We don't have marshlands. Why do people pick their trucks up 20 foot tall with these big tires and rims?
Well, it's a necessity. We flood down here sometimes.
They do
It is
come in
Houston.
handy. I
It
can't
is
say it
Houston.
out of own experience.
Oh, that is true. She was the only one
over
getting
here.
it
Like,
right.
she's over here like, oh.
Damn, guys. Calm down.
But
Trust me.
Claude lives on an actual ranch. though.
Yeah, she lives on land. Yeah, okay.
And it sucks, right? Once you like start realizing, and for me, it was like, man, like it's that moment when you start just realizing, like, I've spent a lot of money, or I mean, that was if what if you would have saved all that money, if it would have you would have put it to the side into a savings account, how much money would you have there? But instead, here we are, just like getting in debt, and just a lot of us, like in the Latino community, they live paycheck to paycheck. They literally just.
But honestly, I don't even
What if they get
even
sick?
think that it's only the Hispanic community. I
I think it's the American public. in
think
You
general.
think it's just everybody?
And
Yes.
in general, yeah, because I mean, nobody here again, right?
Well, I'm
Maybe
just-
back in the day,
I'm just speaking for like my family, or like my my tias, like everybody that I know, like they just, and I guess that's why I wanted to just break that cycle, because
Yeah.
it's like a generational curse if you think about it. To be at one, and not everyone, like Nate said, not everyone. It sucks, but not everyone. The people that want to get financially educated, it's a minority. It's like a small amount of people. It's like the 1%.
and you know what? I don't know if you've been noticing this, but over like the last, which of course I can't speak for the last 50 years because I'm only 30, but over like the last 50 years from the statistics, like people who used to come down here who were immigrants or people of lower income, even though they didn't have really good paying jobs or whatever it may be, even for the reason of them not using credit, they were able to like buy their houses cash or their
Yes.
cars cash, and they wouldn't have that much debt, so they could make it with the money that they would make, right?
Mhm.
But now with inflation going up so
Yeah.
high, it doesn't even matter if you don't go into debt. You can't play the game of save to get yourself out of the rat race. You can't do that no more because
Okay,
of
but
inflation.
I mean,
in there,
you
I'm
have
sorry.
to use debt.
You
now.
also have to understand that
Well, good debt.
a lot of people that
debt.
that came to the states during that time, they were living way below their means,
Mhm.
so that allowed them basically to save money. Nowadays, it's probably rare the people that is going to be living below their means to actually one day be able to afford something.
Mhm.
And
Say
then,
it with your chest,
and
but I
then
like
good
it.
good
I like it. I like it. I
and then
like
good
it.
debt also means when you're getting good. What's good debt for like a definition of,
A home.
and that's gonna create wealth for you, right? It's gonna grow.
I don't
And
know about wealth, but
well, not wealth, but it's gonna. I mean, it's an
It's an
investment.
asset.
It's an
Yeah,
asset.
because
yeah, it's an
okay,
asset.
if you like your friend, he bought the
CanAm, yeah. Side by
yeah.
side.
Did he gain money or he lose
No,
money?
he lost money.
Okay, exactly. So you have to be able to know the difference.
But in his
Because
mind, he was gonna have really good times with it. Driving.
He could have bought like maybe land, and it would have he would have cashed out on some
Well, you
money.
know
Yeah.
what? Even then, I think now, because we have this pitch, right? Going back to again, not a shot towards you, but just like real estate in general, or building wealth, financial advisory, right? We have these things where it's like, oh yeah, anything that's an asset works for everybody. I'm starting to see now a lot of people who invested incorrectly. I mean, we've seen how many of these abandoned projects out here. People from out of state who bought down here thinking that they were going to build a freaking real estate portfolio down here, overbuying, trying to oversell, and it doesn't work. So even assets can become bad debt if
Yeah.
you don't
Well-
know what you're doing, and that's why you do need the guidance, like the financial advisor
It's
or
because
realtor.
it is risky. Investing is risky.
Well, hold on. Real estate investing is not very risky. It's risky whenever you're not using the right real estate agents, when you're using rookies, with 1 year experience to buy investment properties. I mean, when you're using people that don't even have a license to buy investment proproperties,
What
that's
I'm-
when it's risky.
What
Because
I'm talking about, like, I mean, even in stocks or like
That's
most
risky.
most most investments can or you can buy a property, and is it guaranteed that you're gonna make good money off of it?
no,
Nothing's ever guaranteed.
but it's no different than buying having a dollar. The dollar loses value, and so does
Yeah.
the
It's
property.
'cause
It
that's the-
loses and gains.
yeah.
But even if the worst case scenario on a property that has ever happened to me is that I think I made like $10,000, which was like, oh my god, this was such a waste of time to do it for
Yeah.
like 10 grand. That was years ago though, and it was because at that time too, a lot of people were coming to the market, doing flips, doing all this stuff,
Mhm.
and flooding the market with people didn't know what they were doing,
Mhm.
so
Because I mean, if you really look at it right now, right? Let's look at the people who all these stats are coming about where people are letting go of their houses under market value. They're cutting it 100,000 from what they were listing at. Okay, who is really the people who are doing that? It ends up being these iBuyers, these big corporations,
Yeah.
these open
Yes.
doors,
Yeah.
these Redfins, whoever it was, right? These big corporations who were buying half a community up and thought that they could price control. And now that we're in this tight bind right now, where it's they say that it's not a recession, it is a recession. Who knows? But whatever's happening right now, right? It's a tight bind where there's not that many buyers. They're the ones who have to take that loss. Why? Because they don't have just one that they're living in that they can wait it out until
Mhm.
the market adjusts again. They got 20, 30. And this 20, 30 is losing 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 per house. Yeah, they got to cut it and get rid of it. It's eating into the portfolio and they can't hold on to it. So that's different. Again, it goes back to everything that, especially anything finance, does not apply to the general public. It's almost very personal. Like you have to do it for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't apply for everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, you also have to think about other factors. Like, life is very unpredictable. You could be very healthy today. What if you get sick? What if something happens? Or what if you leave the office, God forbid, and you get into a car accident? Especially, I mean, you have insurance in your car, in your house, pretty sure your business. Well, why not have it on the one that's creating?
yeah, no, I have life insurance on myself and my family for years. I mean, I have life insurance on some of my realtors. So
No, but that's
no. I have insurance on some of my employees or some of my partners as well.
But some
because-
people are like, oh no, like they don't think about, or they just don't like that word, especially
that thought of
Mhm.
that what comes with the life insurance.
But you know about Keyman Insurance, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, there's some people that in some of my companies, I have partners that if they pass away, then that business will be hurt.
Mhm.
So I have insurances set up so that if something happens to them, I'll have enough
Well, see,
capital to be able to take care of their family and pay them out some money, and also find a replacement.
yeah, well, you are very financially educated.
I used to have an insurance license
Awesome.
years
Okay.
ago. Didn't like it.
Didn't like it.
No.
But did you learn? Obviously,
I
learned a
learned a lot.
lot.
Yeah, I learned
You
a lot.
learned a
Yeah.
lot. So
There's
that's
there's a lot of new products that I don't know about, but I
yeah.
can easily understand them because
Yeah, because yeah, so that's I think that's like the beauty of it, just getting like knowing. Because to me, like I said, knowledge is power.
But I will
The
tell
more
you,
you know.
I will tell you this, okay? Every time that the real estate market drops, or that the real estate market is deemed to
Just
be
like the market in
bad,
general,
right?
no.
No, I only keep up with my real estate market, okay? Because that's all I know. But every time the real estate market drops, or it's deemed to be bad or whatever, you always see the insurance agent population just boom. They're
Mhm.
everywhere, because they feel like that's a good, I guess it's a lateral move. I don't know. I have no
Yeah.
idea why.
I mean, it's commission based as well,
Yeah.
so it's and I feel like it's very easy to kind of
Like marry the
handle
two. Yeah.
both sides of the business, kind of like this at the same time. Because I've talked to different agents that hold
Mhm.
both licenses.
Yeah, I know a lot
Yeah.
of agents do that. Do, but
So
they marry the two.
transitioning into not a different topic, but just a different part of it. Monday, we had a red Monday, right? The market was red the moment we woke up. Only person that was green was Lockheed Martin. Who knows why? We can all guess why Lockheed Martin was green, but everybody was red. And the first thing that I saw was I do follow a lot of financial advisors on Twitter, a lot of realtors on Twitter, people who hate on realtors on Twitter. And everybody was so excited about how right now is the perfect time to buy or sell with no context behind it,
Yeah.
right? No context whatsoever. So I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm 90% sure as soon as I get off of Twitter or X now, as soon as I get off here and I go into IG, it's going to be a bunch of realtors. Oh, guys, this is the moment you've been waiting
Yes.
for. It's
Yeah.
time to buy. And
Yeah.
exactly, I got on there, exactly what it
Everybody.
was, right? So I was thinking, what do clients actually want to hear from a professional whenever something like that does happen? I can speak for myself here. Most of my clients don't know anything about stocks, right? Maybe the 401k, but even then they put some money into a stock. They might do an Apple and just leave it there for years, right? But they're not in there day trading. So if I was to call them tomorrow and be like, hey, stock market's crashing, interest rates are going to drop, which nobody really said they were, right? But right now might be the perfect time to buy. Do you think that that's they see that as a credible person
No.
who's either in the financial markets
That-
or a realtor?
Listen, that's funny. Vic just posted right now. He said, if another one of my Lionsgate realtors tries to use the interest rate to create urgency, I'm gonna lose my mind. He says,
That's
He
wild.
said, be
Thank
better.
you.
Show it to the
He said,
camera.
be better.
Show it to the camera. I don't know.
He
if
just
they'll be able to
posted us it.
see it. That's
I
funny.
said,
That's
no, because
funny.
and that's the problem, right? And somebody says something and everybody thinks it's true.
Mhm.
Oh, realtors are no longer going to be paid commission.
Mhm.
My realtors have been getting more commission than they've ever had.
Yes.
Somebody just locked in 9%. Somebody locked in 6%, and they're going to pay the other realtor 3% or 2%. I mean, that's not going away. Like, if you don't know this market, don't even say anything. And also, whoever is quoting or saying things, do some research. I mean, we have internet now. You could do research on these guys. If this guy has closed 2 or 3 deals, within this year, right? Then he's probably not a real estate professional and really doesn't know much about the market. They said that 50% of the realtors had no closing last month. That's wild. I mean,
is
that's wild. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know what to say. I mean, I just think that.
And there's one dude, the financial account, right, on X, and I always beef with him every now and again. He's always throwing shade to realtors, and I don't mind it. I've said it plenty of times. I personally, like 90% of realtors, I don't like myself either, right? I'm not a realtor's friend. I'm not the friend of a realtor. I'm the friend of the client, of the clientele. That's the way I handle my business. So he goes in there and he's always clowning on realtors, which a lot of times I do agree on certain things, right? And he went in there and he posted this article about how realtors are freaking out because there's so much inventory on the market now. And I was like, okay, maybe it might be a specific market. So I went in there, read his article, and I saw it, and I was like, okay, well, what was the increase? It went from 4 months to 5 months. And what I commented, I was like, guys, like this person who is posting this has absolutely no knowledge on the market when the average is 6 to 9 months. So it went up 1 month, but we're still under what the average is. So does that mean we have more inventory than normal or less? Less. And it goes back to that, right? Every single headline does not mean what you think it means. It's a headline for a reason.
Yeah,
you gotta
just to catch your
read.
attention.
Yeah, well, it's because like what you said. I mean, a lot of people just do the research on the internet, but not everything that you read on the internet is true. So you have to know where the source.
Yeah,
is
you have to go
coming
to the
from.
source. Yeah. And you know what I really hate is that, because I know my market. I know it through and through. I know my city. I know my area. I hate whenever I post something, right? And I immediately, well, actually, let me rephrase it. I don't post anything. I hate it when Giovanni posts my stuff on YouTube and everybody just starts hating on me and dogging on me and saying things to me. And so I go and I look at these guys, right?
You know,
and they're essentially calling me a liar. They're calling me names. They're saying things about me.
That's the internet.
And no, well, no. I click on their stuff and I'm like, they're from Minnesota. They're from, Chicago. They're from, I'm like, I mean, are you,
Mexico.
That doesn't happen. I did get a lot of hate from Mexico.
I know.
And he loves Mexico.
Yeah, so these people are literally calling me a liar, but they know nothing about Houston market. And I'm like, how am I lying? This just happened yesterday. I'm telling you what happened. I'm not telling you. I'm not like making these things up. It's like it's wild. But
I mean, that's just how social media works. You're some people are going to agree with you, some people are not, but as long as you know what you're talking about, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it also goes back to building credibility, right? Like back to what your clients want to hear from you. I had one of my clients reach out to me, and this is a really good client of mine, right? They bought and sold a few times with me, and I'm pretty sure they got the news probably from another realtor that rates are dropping, it's time to buy.
Mhm.
They reach out to me and they're like, hey, I think I'm ready to move again. Well, I was like, you know what? Maybe, they just had a kid. Maybe it's time to upsize. Okay, well, why? Doing my discovery questions. Why are you thinking about moving? What area? First thing, tell me, well, rates are dropping. I was like, bro, you got you got like a 2.9, bro. Like that ain't never gonna happen. I was like, I understand that you have a low rate. I was like, look, if you really want to buy another house because you need to buy another house, or even if you just want to, but don't let it be just because of the rate, because the next house you get, it's not gonna be because of the rate. There's a reasoning behind it. We can keep this one, rent it out, whatever you have to do, but it can't just be because rates are quote unquote low. Because I mean, we're still at what, 6.5 right now. I think that was the lowest that it's
But I
dropped to.
think this hype is also coming from lenders, that a lot of the lenders are promoting in social media that, oh, I'm already, have like, 6 clients that I have refinanced, and, all of these refis that they are promoting. Why they're promoting that? Because they're making money.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
I've actually been seeing all of that since Monday too.
Yeah.
I'm like,
So Giovanni, let me ask you a question. So right now we're starting to see a lot of coaches and mentors thrown in the thrown in the towel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? What do you think about the mentors, the coaches, and all these people that have been promoting and selling all these things that is no longer working? Getting out of this business and starting to mentor and coach in other areas.
Like I said, right? I never tend to blame the mentor. I think there's too much information out there right now for people to be like, oh, they tricked me. If you went in there and you bought a get rich quick scheme, that's on you. So the mentors that are leaving, they're leaving. They're just going to make their money somewhere else, right? Now, the consumer, it's up to them whether they learned or they didn't learn on, there's no such thing as get rich quick. And if there is, you're probably going to end up in prison. That's usually what happens, right? But what I see right now, and especially like in our industry, and it's the only industry that I care about, what I'm seeing is these realtors who are leaving the industry, or even some realtors that are still doing good because it hasn't hit them yet, but I'm already seeing it. I can see it ahead of time that it's going to hit, and they're not going to know how to react to it. So that's why I posted that video the other day of Napoleon, right, where he's getting crowned, right, and he's like, I found the crown of France in the gutter. I picked it up and put it on my own head. Because he was saying that usually the priests were the ones who would crown the king. He took it from the priest, and that's why everybody, gasped, because it was weird. He crowned himself. Right now is the time to do that. Anybody who's serious about this business, it's time to pick up the crown from the ground. These people who are leaving the business, who are not going to know how to recover from it. You pick up the crown, you put it on your own head, and you do it the right way. And now you'll be established forever. It's like in times like this is when people are made or they're broken.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of people that I'm seeing right now that are doubling down. They're learning the market. They're out there hitting the doors, calling the phones, whatever it may be, whatever you're good at, or whatever you decide is your part of this business. Double down on it, get better at it, become the best at it, because there's no such thing as easy clients anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, it's no.
You know what I've also seen is the reemergence of the old school mentor and coach. And what I mean by that is that, you know, this is my third. I mean, so I don't want to say that the market is bad. The market is shifting and it's changing, but this is my third shift, right? And I was actually in a recession. I was actually in a mortgage meltdown, you know. And what happened at those times is that people took advantage of all the people that were losing their homes and people that wanted to learn how to do real estate in that time. And what happened was that whenever the market started, you know, rising and real estate started getting good again, and then we started just getting into these great times and you know, in the last couple of 5 years, right? Those guys that did all that disappeared. They were non-existent. You wouldn't find them anywhere. Okay. So right now, with this new shift and the way everybody's scared and things are dropping, I start seeing people that I haven't seen in 10 years, in 8 years. I'm like, where has this guy been? They're back. And why are they back? They're back because they can only thrive when people are scared.
Because
They can only thrive when there's people out there to take advantage of. And that's what they do. They're all over the place now. They're on Instagram. They came out of the woodwork, you know. That's what I say. And you know, I always tell people, you know, be careful, you know, but look at the mentor or the coach or whoever it is, or this guy that's doing these talleres, doing these workshops, you know, ask yourself, what has this guy been doing for the last, you know, 10 years or the last 5 years? You know, who is this guy, you know? And look at the history. The internet is wide open for these people, you know, look them up, look at all the people they've burned, you know. I've seen just off the top of my head, I see 2 people from Houston, 1 person from San Antonio, and there's another guy from Dallas. I mean, these guys, some of these guys have convictions for fraud and lawsuits and you know, just all kinds of stuff. And they're coming in and getting these people that are scared and want help. And these guys are looking up to them for, you know, to survive for the next, you know, for the next 5 years.
Take
you know,
advantage
yeah,
of
take
them,
advantage.
but,
Yeah.
But that happens in every downturn, right?
Yeah, it does.
That's what we said. It happens in every downturn. And again, right now, like if the consumer falls for it, like I'm sorry, there's too much information. It's up to you. It ends up being that you want to
Say he deserves it.
out.
That's what you're saying.
Not to victim blame, but yes.
What do you think? He deserves it?
I mean, yeah, if you're not really getting.
Really? What about you? He deserves it? If si se deja, he deserves it.
Pues,
I mean, it depends.
Nah.
Honestly, I think we cannot only blame on the consumer. Yes, the consumer has some fault for not doing the proper, you know,
research.
research. But you know, I feel like honestly, it's more the fault of the, you know, educated people.
I thought you meant like the other person, like the person that went to jail. I was like, yeah, he deserves to go to jail.
No.
Wait, you-
That's why I said it's
You
no problem.
hesitated
Yeah,
about
he
that?
does.
She hesitated
I
about
was-
that
she
one
did.
point.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
As he should.
No, I was shocked when she said, "Yeah, if he deserves it, yeah." I'm like, oh,
But
I thought
think
she
maybe-
likes to help people. What
Maybe
happened?
we're speaking.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe we're
Someone-
speaking past each other, because whenever I say that the consumer deserves it, I'm more talking about not somebody who's promising a product and they don't deliver on the product itself. I'm saying somebody who promises
And
you
doesn't-
just got to do these 2 steps and you're gonna get rich in a month. That does not happen.
Mhm.
Or I can take your 10,000 and turn it into 100,000 in a month. That does not happen. You can't beat the freaking market. Like
So-
that is common sense.
So let's do this
It-
again.
look,
so they deserve
it is common sense.
Those people
Hold
do
on.
deserve it. Now, somebody who's saying, I have a program, I can build this for you, I can build this house for you. It's gonna take a long time for you to get your return, and all they do is run away with your money. That's fraud. That's
Okay.
not what I'm talking about.
I
Yeah.
think it can really make sense to somebody that is in a desperate situation, that they need a quick way out and they see hope
Yeah.
somewhere.
That's what I'm talking about, Flor. And you see, and that's what I keep saying when I'm talking about wealth and talking about all that stuff, people promoting wealth and stuff like that. Because this is the thing. I think that if you're a coach, you're a mentor, you sell some kind of program, right? It is your ethical responsibility, right? To sit that person in front of you, have a conversation with them, have some kind of discovery questions to find out if that person is even mentally, emotionally, and financially capable of carrying out your program. Because if he's not,
Yes.
that to me is fraud.
Yes,
It's fraud.
exactly. If if you get caught, let's say if I'm vulnerable, I need a quick, something easy to get out.
Mhm.
And you come to me with the perfect scenario and I fell for it. I mean, I will blame you
Yeah, definitely.
because you took advantage of me.
Yeah.
Well, of course, you're not going to blame yourself,
That is
right?
okay.
Of course. Of course. Now, that's common sense. You're not going to blame yourself.
No.
What I'm
I
saying
mean, I get what
is
you're saying
that there's
because
for some,
yeah,
it's not, look, there's something
but
that
it's
you
not
can
right
clearly.
though.
No.
I'm not saying that it's right.
No.
I'm not saying that it's right. All I'm saying is that we cannot continue to let the consumer get away with making certain decisions. And the reason why,
the
yes,
professionals,
the professionals,
but not the consumer. The consumer is not the consumer's responsibility
it
to
is
single
the
out.
consumer's
No, it's-
responsibility. It is. It is a consumer's responsibility. They play a part in it because that's another reason why they continue to choose the ones who are not upfront with them. Why?
No.
Because they don't want the ones who are upfront. We deal with this all the
I'm
time.
like,
I don't see it
I
like
agree.
that because at one point the consumer is at a disadvantage because they don't know. Like you,
Not anymore. There's too much information out there.
Nobody.
There's too much
Listen, hold
information.
on,
You're
hold
not
on,
gonna
hold on,
knock
hold
it
on,
off
hold
the
on.
horse.
Not everybody is single with no kids and lives in an apartment and can research YouTube for hours and hours and hours and hours. Sorry, bro, it doesn't happen. We have lives that we have to do, and we don't have time to research people and dive into that. So imagine a person who works a 9 to 5, a 9 to 9, and then comes home on the weekends and has to attend to his family and do his errands. He doesn't have time to get on the internet. You know what he sees? He sees the bandit sign on the side of the road. He sees the TikTok or the Instagram that pops up of a guy promising him a better life. I mean, those are the people
But
that need
it
the help.
goes. But I
when it
understand
comes to
people.
your money,
Okay,
I
go
get,
ahead.
I get what
let,
you're
let Ruby
saying.
say.
I
Let
get,
Ruby
I
go.
guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on the both because back to like you have to do your research, especially when it comes to your money, especially if you're in a tough situation. How are you just gonna trust someone you really don't know? And then there's a cause and an effect for everything. I mean, you just we live in times where you can't really just trust people. There's really
True.
evil people out there that really want to take advantage.
True.
But so you have to do your research and you have to uh you know where who
But
this person is. It's
that's-
easy for you to do your research. I
That's
mean, if you
true.
don't do it, it's because you're kind of like maybe just a little bit lazy to do your work.
Thank you.
No,
Nate's
well-
acting like we're in the wild, wild west where there's
Okay,
a snake
okay.
oil salesman
Let me
who
paint
gets
you
run out
another-
of one town and goes to another
let
town.
me
That
let me
it
paint
takes
you.
it takes 4 weeks for a freaking mail letter to get over there. No,
I mean,
bro.
the person that
No,
of course, who's that wrong? I think the person that's taking
yeah,
advantage,
Let me
it's wrong.
it's
Yes.
the worst.
Let me paint you.
but
Let me paint you a picture. I'm gonna paint you a picture that you understand and it happens more often than what you think.
From
Okay?
1890. Yeah.
No, listen, no. I'm painting you a
Belongs
picture
in
right
the
now.
picture belongs
You
in the
have a
museum,
person.
yeah.
You have a person that knows the market, knows how to manipulate whatever he's doing, right? And what does he do? He gets himself about 5 recruits, and these 5 recruits that he gets, they look good, they dress good, they have a following on Instagram, and he gives them money, and he puts them on there, telling them that they got rich off of his program, right? And then those people push it out, and yes, you do trust the person that you've been seeing work out all week and has a story for you. You do trust the guy that's out here thugging it out, trying to get content and showing you about the neighborhoods. You do trust the ranch lady, right? You do trust all these people because those are the people you're trusting, but they are being manipulated by another person that's out there selling these fraud products.
So
Mhm.
how I see what Nate is saying is basically whenever you see online all of these products that help you lose weight, and who promotes those type of
Yeah.
products? Beautiful skinny women
Yep.
that have a body that most of the time it's not their body. A doctor built that body for them.
Yeah.
So you see them drinking that product every single day. What comes to your mind? Dude, I'm gonna look like that.
Yeah.
I'll
But
let
that's
you.
lack
I'll
of
let you have
knowledge,
that in
though.
2010.
Me,
What now we all know they all have BBLs. We all know that and they're all
No.
Dr. Miami
No.
products.
Hey, whoa,
We all know that.
I mean-
Hey,
We all-
look, hey, let me just say, I lost
Nate has
all
to
my
defend
weight.
his Herbalife.
I lost
He has
all
to
my
defend his
weight.
Herbalife.
Lost all my weight con la semilla de Brasil. Okay.
Y el café de
¿Dónde la
hongo,
compraste?
café de hongo.
El café de hongo.
okay.
All right, we got two. I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh,
let
sorry,
you
sorry.
To
have the
me,
last
it
word.
goes
Go ahead,
right
go ahead.
back to just lack of knowledge, lack
True.
of financial education. Because the more, I mean, if you read, right, there's every book is kind of like, especially from like millionaires. I'm talking about. I read. Think. Get. What is it? I'm having a brain.
Get rich or die trying.
No.
No.
I'm actually. I read
Think
that
big
book.
and get rich or
Yeah.
Think rich or yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever.
That was
whatever
one
the
of my
book is.
favorite books that one of
Think
my
and
the
Grow
first
Rich.
that's the first book I read. And even in those books, or I can't really think right now because
you're
we're
fine. No, you're
live,
fine.
but every book that I have read, and I think I read like maybe 20 books.
Mhm.
Just you're not gonna believe me, but this last month, because I do audiobooks.
Mhm.
And because I like to multitask.
And so does
And
Joanne.
every book, it talks about like you're not gonna take the elevator. You have to take the ladder. Like there's no such thing as you're gonna get rich overnight.
Yeah, of course not.
There's
Yeah.
no such thing. So you're a fool for not really knowing this, for not really like doing your research. How you just, if someone tells you, oh, you're gonna get rich if you buy this, you're just gonna go do it, then that's really your fault for
If
for
Elon Musk
believing,
Musk
like-
told me to buy that and I'd be rich, I'd buy it.
I know. I
You don't
guess
even
'cause
like
it
Elon.
depends.
I
You
don't,
know,
but he knows what he's doing.
Every mind is just a mind of its own, and we all have different perspectives, and we
Mhm.
all can agree to disagree. But I feel like me, I like to take accountability. I've lost money. I've done really bad investments, and I didn't blame the person that took advantage of me. I blame myself for not doing the research, for not knowing, because at the end of the day, what can you do about it? That person, it was really your fault. It was no one else's fault but your fault.
Who took advantage of you?
When I first started, remember I told you I started doing real estate.
Who was it?
But I don't.
Okay.
God knows, and I like
God
to let
knows.
go and let God do the justice.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that was a great podcast. We're gonna go ahead and exit out. Again, I am your gracious host, Giovanni, here with HBR, and you can find me online as Gay Realty, also on IG under Giovanni_Frank, and I'm also the host of the Living East of Houston YouTube channel. So check us out there if you're thinking about moving east of Houston. And I'm gonna go ahead and let Ruby exit out. Remember, let them know where they can find you and what you do
Yes.
again.
Y'all can find me on Instagram and TikTok. It's Ruby Quinones.
Flor Velasquez with Lionsgate Realty. You can find me on all my social medias as Flor Velasquez Realtor.
I'm Nathan Valderas. I'm the master broker for Lionsgate Realty. You can find me on all my social media outlets at Better Call Nate. And also, I'm going to crown myself, and I'm going to I'm going to expose anybody and
King.
everybody. So if you want to buy a program, a real estate program, because I only know about real estate. If you want to buy a real estate program, or a mentoring or a coach or whatever it is, and you're not sure about the person that's doing it, just find me at Better Call Nate, and I will definitely let you know. I'll give you the tea, about that person, and if that person's a good fit.
That's actually a good service to the public.
Yes, definitely.
You would do that for free?
Oh, I'll do it for free.
Yes,
all
you
day
do that
long.
for free.
All day long. Yeah, it's for free.
He doesn't do too many charity cases.
I don't do too many charity cases, but I'll do pro bono. Yes.
All right, guys. Until next time.